those who are already in the space, what I would advise anyone is this is the time to position. This is the time to take position.
Powered by Desi Crypto. So hey guys, here we are at the Web3 conference Goa, India, and we met another amazing community person who is from quite a long time in the industry itself. So he is going to introduce himself by his name.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, my name is Joel Johnson. I'm a venture capitalist, a blockchain consultant and advisor, and I'm the founding partner of ZualaCapital.
Okay, so let's talk about the business afterwards in this podcast.
Yeah.
I hope it would be one of the great podcasts we have. So let us throughout your journey, how did you start your crypto journey, your blockchain journey? When did you first ever came about this Bitcoin or cryptocurrency stuff? Do let us give us a brief about that.
Yeah, so basically I started crypto 7 years ago. Yeah, I've been in this space for over 7 years. So initially, I think what actually got my interest was the fact that there was a time that someone was talking about crypto. So where kind of he bought it and the thing is going up and it's coming down, it's going up and it's coming down, stuff like that. So about 7 years ago, I bought my first Ethereum at about.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So I've actually seen the markets go up, go down. I've experienced different cycles in the financial markets, basically, not just in terms of crypto, but also in the macro financial world in general.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have started, you have already entered in the space 7 years ago, around 2016.
Yeah.
And you the first crypto that you bought was not actually Bitcoin, it was Ethereum.
Yes.
So great. And what's the source of information, if you have any rough of ideas? Because generally some of our friends might be an influence that you should invest in these kind of stuff, and then we just get deep down and do our holy research that what this technology is gonna do and how is this gonna revolutionize the economic sector or the financial sector.
Yeah.
So is it by someone, the friend, or you have did your own research? How did this thing happen?
So basically I think everyone who comes to the crypto space makes mistakes. You need to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes also. Exactly. And you can also learn from the mistakes of others. But what I've come to realize is the best thing is actually to kind of understand the market itself and do not try to invest in the market with the aim of trying to get rich quick. Because the crypto market is not a place that you get rich quick. If you make money quick, you lose that money very quick.
Exactly.
If it comes easily, it will go easily. So you have to kind of understand the dynamics of the market, in the sense that you have to be able to know how to do your own due diligence. Because you will realize that there's so many bad actors in the crypto space. There's so many people who just create a shit coin from nowhere and just want to kind of pump it up and let it go through the roof. And they kind of get also influencer marketing and stuff like that, just to kind of create hype around the project. So when you're able to understand the market, because what actually happens is everything moves in circles. There are different seasons in every cycle. Yeah, so what happens is the way the market works is that there's going to be a hype, usually an institutional hype, where kind of the media, BlackRock, so many big organizations are talking about Bitcoin. So the money tends to first flow into Bitcoin. Then that money from people now start taking profits. They want to take profits. They will now go into higher cap altcoins like Ethereum, BNB and stuff like that, basically. So it now gets to a point where the money now flows to shit coins, as in micro cap coins, basically, that just flies through the roof and stuff like that. So you need to understand how these things work. You need to understand on-chain analysis. You need to understand sentimental analysis, because sentiment happen also. For instance, a popular one that I basically use is when my friend that doesn't know about crypto start talking about a particular coin.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, it's over.
That's the ultimate top, that you have to sell everything.
Absolutely. So you have to understand how these cycles work, how all these things work. Basically, you need to kind of have an in-depth knowledge of how they all interrelate and they all work. And also, right now, I think I would advise every person trying to come into crypto to have the knowledge of the macro markets, to be able to understand what is happening in the stock market, what is happening in the global financial market, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, have an idea about them. Because what is going to happen is that once, because we are seeing the biggest institutional players coming into crypto. Exactly. We're seeing BlackRock, we're seeing Vanguard, we're seeing so many of them applying for ETFs. I think today BlackRock ETF was supposed to kind of like be announced whether it will be approved or not.
Oh.
I think, yeah. I think it was denied also, something like that. No, sorry, not denied. Right, I think it was delayed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was
things
delayed.
have been getting delayed, and there also the timeline cannot be extended by a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
so that's also a thing.
Yeah. So I think every person coming into the crypto space needs to have an idea of how the general financial market works, like how the stock market plays out, because everything will start getting intertwined. Like there will be like a relationship between the two in such a way that it will coexist together. It's no longer going to be crypto here and the stock market here. Everything will kind of like have an interrelation. It's the reason why if you pay attention to the charts closely, you will see that when AI stocks are rising, crypto AI projects are also rising. You get that because of that interrelation that's happening between them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also basically I would advise every person coming to the crypto space to just have a general knowledge of how the market works. Not only markets, also have game theory. Yeah, have game theory. Be able to kind of understand how psychology also works.
But I would say that because trading or investing is so much rather than just buying and selling stuff, it is a very emotional stuff too.
Yes.
So everyone can only understand when they spend a quite number of years.
Yes.
Because when they get emotionally strong, then they know that they don't have to repeat that shit, that they have already made mistakes, as we have already said.
Absolutely.
So it's an emotional cycle also for each and everyone as well. So that's great. And anything about the developers, because a lot of developers, like all the students, I would say, like the college going students, like they are only like C++ or Java, they do their basic coding, but now we have like different languages like Solidity for Solana blockchain and EVM. So there are multiple blockchains, multiple blockchain languages that the students are eager to learn and basically develop on them. So any thought about that?
Yeah, so basically when it comes to the development side of the crypto world, I would encourage everyone to kind of like have an idea of how these things work, because not only as a developer but even as an investment analyst, understanding how the codes work is good, understanding smart contracts is good, understanding Solidity is good, understanding how Rust works is basically good. And if you look at it from a broader perspective, you would see that literally everything that is Web 2 can be turned into Web 3. Web 3 is applicable to literally every aspect and every facet of life. You get real estate, transportation, literally everything basically can be on the blockchain, because the blockchain is transparent and it can store data that will be there for life. Anybody can have access to it. You get? So I would encourage literally anyone to kind of like be able to, not just developers alone, but even investors, even marketers, to just have an idea, basically a rough idea of how these programming languages work, like Solidity, Rust, and literally all other programming languages that are used for blockchain space.
So yeah, that's exactly, because as you already mentioned, because it's a broader aspect that people can imagine. Like it's the internet 2.0, when the internet came in the 1990s.
Absolutely, yes.
So because, and I would say that like I have heard this like many times, that blockchain can be on a fast track, because internet doesn't have the internet itself to helping the internet, but now blockchain has the power of internet. Like we can send any data or any piece of information from one place to another place throughout the world, even multi-planets also in the near future.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
But just great, because I don't know about in other countries, but in India we saw that in the early 90s, when the computer came in India, a lot of people in the government sector, like the public offices, and they just scared so much out of this technology. They have taken early retirement so that they don't want to get their hands on the this technology I was talking about like in 1990s.
Yes, of course.
But right now I don't think that this could be a much bigger problem, because most of the people are using, like our parents using our smartphones, our parents are using like laptops and stuff. They want us to teach them. Sometimes we got busy, like we will teach you later. But the things are getting crazy, and I think just after the COVID as well, a lot of people who hasn't been involved in the technology space, they have also started the technology at a very vast level. So I think it would be a matter of time that everybody is involved in this space also, because when they get to know like how much broader aspect we are talking about, like it's bigger than internet.
Yes. To add to what you're saying, actually what tends to happen that in every civilization where there's innovation, innovation is first resisted. It's always first resisted, but as time goes on, people tend to kind of like start embracing it as it begins to start getting results and start getting traction. Web2 right now, I mean, only a few people use crypto, for instance, but as time goes on, it gets broader and it gets more wider. More people start to come in because, for instance, we're seeing BlackRock applying for ETFs. We're seeing bigger organizations applying for ETFs.
Crazy thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, what most people, even in crypto, do not know is that once BlackRock comes in, once that ETF is approved, buying Bitcoin, like once that Bitcoin ETF is approved, buying Bitcoin is going to be similar to buying a stock. What that means is that there's going to be enough liquidity for even bigger organizations to buy and trade Bitcoin like never before. Do you get? So what that tends to happen is that I say this often to some people, that we have the last leg of the mega bull run. Like the last bull run is now. Once this happens, we're not going to see all these 100% on Bitcoin anymore. It will get to a point where once this institution comes in, a 3% Bitcoin pump will be celebrated because Bitcoin will start acting up like stocks. So this is like literally the last chance to make that, to have that insane rally, because the market cap of Bitcoin is going to increase definitely once this BlackRock ETF is approved. And once that happens, Bitcoin will start behaving literally like stocks, 1%, 2%, 3%, because it's going to be so big.
It's like the gold ETF, like whenever
Absolutely,
the gold ETF came.
Exactly.
The gold ETF came, I think I might be wrong in the time horizon, it was like 1980s or something, or like might be some after or before that. But it was trading around like $300 or stuff like that. But then whenever the gold ETF came, like it has been shoot up from $300 to even like $1,800 or $1,900 in the 2013 itself. And it's a crazy story that people in India think the best investment is gold, but they didn't know, like just because the purchase power parity of Indian rupees has been fallen like 50%. Like when the price of a dollar was around 2013 or 14 was 40 rupees. And right now it's 80 rupees. So people think that we have saved a ton of money by investing in gold, but in the terms of real value, in the terms of dollar value, the gold hasn't been moved like in the past 10 years. And if they were eager enough to invest in the technology at that time, they could make like quick $1 million. But they can't even imagine. So that's the technology shift we are talking about. That's the BlackRock shift we are talking about. That 9.3 trillion asset manager like Larry Fink is coming, and we have seen his speeches like 4 or 5 years ago. He was talking shit about the Bitcoin. He was not investing like, and right now Bitcoin is the global currency he is talking about. Bitcoin is the national asset he is talking about. So these are the kind of the shifts like most of the people are not realizing, because whenever the news came, then they react. They didn't react on their research. So that's the thing that should be done.
You need to also put into context that when these big organizations talk about things like this, when you see them coming out in the news announcing something, like now Larry Fink is talking about Bitcoin here and there, you need to understand that they are also positioned, like they've positioned themselves already before the news.
Exactly.
So they position themselves already before the news. So what tends to happen is that once the news comes out, they're already positioned, they're already relaxed, they're already good to go. So what that means is that you've already sold your Bitcoin to them already, in most cases. So what is going to happen is that one thing I can tell anyone is that Wall Street is coming for your Bitcoin. Do not sell it cheap.
Exactly. No, that's great. Like तो चलती वीडियो के बीच में मैं कहाँ से आ गया, मैं बस आपको यही बताने आया हूँ कि क्रिप्टो वाली टीम को आपका सपोर्ट चाहिए। हमारे 1000 सब्सक्राइबर कंप्लीट हो गए हैं और हम 2000 सब्सक्राइबर की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं। तो वीडियो को लाइक करें और शेयर करें ऐसे लोगों के साथ जो इस फील्ड के बारे में जानना चाहते हैं, बिकॉज हम लोग उनको बेस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करें। तो आइए चलते हैं वापस इंटरव्यू की तरफ। वी ऑलवेज थिंक अबाउट दैट वी कैन ट्रेड आउट बाय देमसेल्व्स और वी कैन ट्रेड एवरीवन आउटसेल्व्स। इवन इफ यू आर नॉट अ ट्रेडर, जस्ट ट्राई टू डीप स्टडी इन दैट, डू योर ओन रिसर्च and invest it fully.
Like one thing I can also tell anybody is anybody who understands proof of work, proof of stake, anybody who understands Bitcoin, who understands smart contracts, who understands DeFi, will surely invest in it, because they would know that that is the next frontier of finance. That is like the next era of finance, basically. It's the reason why the banks are keen into it. It's the reason why we're seeing PayPal announcing that they're going to do like a stable coin. You get? Because they understand that that's like the next big thing. So they want to kind of like create a system whereby they will be the one to regulate it, they will be the one to be at the helm of affairs when it comes to this new sector that is emerging.
Yeah, no, that's great. Like people are also thinking about, like there are many countries, not the many countries, but it was a quite great movement like couple of years ago, like in the 2021 itself, when El Salvador accepted the Bitcoin.
Yes.
Like I was like jumping out of my bed by hearing this news, because just because whenever a nation accepts as a domestic currency of it as a Bitcoin, the other countries also have to accept their currency as well. So they also like it's a cycle effect that they also have to accept Bitcoin. So I was just deep downing research for a week like crazily, and I really thought that time like there is no stopping, like we don't have to go anywhere. The industry has to grow a lot crazier, and there was no comment like there will be BlackRock investing in that at that time. So like after that, the Shares of Republica has also declared that it's a national currency. So like I am thinking about that which country would be the next in this year or the after year. There are a lot of companies, a lot of countries, I would say, that they would declare that Bitcoin is their digital currency, like stuff like that.
If you look at it also, we see that the masses, they tend to kind of like come and go like a wave. Once the wave is on, they're here. Once the wave goes down, they've left, basically. But that is actually not the way to kind of like navigate this market, because every person or every investor or everyone who is involved in the financial market, directly or indirectly, needs to understand that the market moves in cycles. The market moves in circle, waves up and down, and those things can take seasons, basically. So when you look at, let's say, trading view, for instance, when you look at the charts, for instance, up down, all those up down movements is just a representation of the thoughts and the mindset of traders or market participants who are actively involved in the market. So those are not actually the main thing. So the goal rather is not even kind of like basically look at the charts, is to go behind the charts and understand the patterns, because pattern identification is like key to anything in the financial market. Be able to understand the narratives that are building up, be able to understand the trends that are building up. But when you're able to kind of like identify a narrative or a trend before it starts or before it's emerged fully, and you position yourself, that is really the best thing you can do for yourself.
Like you were just simply talking, a trader would say that he's just only talking about overbought position and oversell position. Now he was actually trying to say that, because whenever you see that market is a bull run, the things are creating all-time highs, and then you are still going to enter in the market, what's the point? You are basically going to like trap yourself in the, because someone is selling, that's why you are buying, and it's not a place to buy. So that's why we always say that you have to do your own research. There is nobody going to teach yourself. You have to reach by yourself. So just position yourself. If you want to be a trader yourself, you have to do deep enough research and have to do crazy hours of studies to make yourself like, first of all, we have heard that this term, 95% of the traders are not successful traders. Who give the license? Who gives the license to call themselves traders? This is my first point. These are not traders.
One thing you also need to understand when it comes to that is that you need to understand that the market is player versus player. So you have to have game theory. You need to understand that the market is player versus player. What that means is that, like you said, 95% are not profitable, only 5% are profitable. So what that tends to be is that as one person is losing, others are making money. Everybody's not losing at the same time. So what you need to do, you need to understand the market in such a way that your game theory needs to be very strong, so that you're able to understand and navigate the market as the tide moves on, to be at the top, to be at the side that makes it. And for it to be at that side, you need a lot of things. You need to have game theory, you need to have emotional intelligence to be able to kind of like control your emotions. You need to have ability to understand sentiments, what is happening around the market, what is going on, what is happening. And you also need information. Information is key. how do you get information? You need to be connected with different people. It's the reason why platforms like these networking sessions are very good.
Exactly.
You need to connect to a lot of people. Once you're connected with people, because for instance, there are people who are on-chain analysts. They can see things that are coming mile away.
Yeah.
You get, but you that maybe you're not an on-chain analyst, just like a trader, basically, you wouldn't see that coming. But once you have them within your network, because it's best to kind of like even create like an inner circle where everybody have different expertise in different field. You get, the on-chain analyst can be able to see what's happening on-chain and be able to tell you, and you can act on it without actually you knowing what is happening on chain. So you need network. You need network of people who know what they are doing, so to be able to have access to information. So information is key in this market. You need to understand what is going on, basically, in terms of having information that are timely, not when it's late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the buy the rumor, sell the news. The most important
Absolutely,
thing
yeah,
that we have to cover it all
Yes,
about
yes.
that. You have to be very sure about how the market reacts on the news, because in a flick of a second we saw that what happened with FTX exchange and SBI.
Crazy.
Like, so crazy thing happens over the time that whenever you try to research and invest in a new narrative, you have to make sure that you have to keep yourself updated about that narrative.
Absolutely.
Every time the narrative changes,
Yes.
as well as the project changes, they rebrand themselves so that they can look out and better came out as new. But it's not happening in all the cases, because there are most of the time the team remains the same, their working style habits doesn't change. So you have to keep your research by yourself, that by checking out their Twitter profiles, by checking out their GitHub profiles, that how much actually development has been going around, or they are just have created a project.
Yeah. In addition to what you're saying, prior to founding ZualaCapital, I worked at a private equity firm as an investment analyst. And one thing I realized is you need
Sorry to interrupt, but I really have to ask that how many years of experience you have in equity market or in the stock market, if we total about this, that how much
7+ years.
7+ in the years in the crypto market, and you were talking about you have also involved in equity market. So
actually,
total
everything should still be around 7+, because I was first aware of the crypto market before I started kind of like diving into like general the financial market in generally, basically. So basically it's 7 years plus. So I was trying to also say that prior to ZualaCapital, I worked at a private equity firm as an investment analyst. And one thing that they do that I think everybody needs to do, because we at ZualaCapital we do it, is portfolio management. You need to structure your portfolio to get into different sectors in such a way that you don't over-invest in a particular sector that gets you emotionally attached. Because when you're emotionally attached in this market, you become restless.
You cannot sleep, man.
Absolutely, your mental peace goes away, and anything that comes with that is absolutely not worth it. So you need to kind of like position yourself in such a way that, for instance, you can have in a bear market like what we've experienced so far, you can have over 60% in stable coins. And in that stable coin, you don't just put them in USDT alone. Anything can happen to a particular stable coin. We saw what happened to some other stable coins, basically. So you need to structure them into like the stable coin based on trust and based on how you've seen their security system is and how their reserves is. You get? So you can put them, that's 60%, you can put 30% in one stable coin, 20% in another one, then maybe like 10%, or just try to divide them into different stable coins first of all, and keep all in stable coins. They can also have some in high caps like Bitcoin, Ethereum, those two.
Just talking about this thing, as of now, we could say that we are a bit of professional in our field. So, but that's why we have to take care of so many things. Like even the stable coins, we have to choose wisely that which stable coin we have. When the ETF came, that all that hassle to invest in stable coins and stuff, they would be like gone. Because simply can invest from their fiat into the Bitcoin itself. So I would say that the people who are hassling with their funds, that first of all they have to choose a stable coin, and after that they have to choose like what is the right time to purchase the Bitcoin or to sell Bitcoin, and whenever they're going to sell their Bitcoin, then they have to again choose a stable coin which they have to take.
Yes.
And then they can take out their money.
Yeah.
Like we are a bit of professionals, that's why we are trade a lot of different coins. But as of a normal investor, I would say that whenever the ETF came, the things are like going crazily parabolic, that we should, like, we don't even imagine that what things going to be happening in the real time. We can also say that there are figures like with the gold ETF, but the crazy maniac is only the time will that what could gonna happen.
Absolutely.
So more about like if I want to know like more about your the working, like what's your brain power as of now doing, like what's your brain utility as of now are you doing?
Right now at ZualaCapital we invest in early stage startups, but also over the past 8 months we launched like a fundraising service where kind of like we help startups to kind of like raise funding. So we found out that there's so many developers, so many good founders out there, but they do not know how to communicate their ideas. They don't know how to sell their vision to investors to invest in them, and they end up having such projects dying. So what we tend to do is to hold their hand to be able to help them in identifying the problem that they're solving, even helping them to write out their pitch deck clearly, have their SAFTs, have their tokenomics, everything in check for investors to be able to invest in them. Because what we tend to notice is that what we do not know is that investors have a language. You need to speak their language for them to hear you. If you're not speaking their language, they can't hear you. And most developers are quite shy, most founders are quite shy, they can't really speak and stuff like that. And even when it comes to the Indian ecosystem, you see founders, because this year alone, I've reviewed about 268 pitch decks, and most of them are just filled with jargons, because these founders do not know what needs to be on their pitch deck. Some of them can have pitch decks that 24 pages, 30 pages, 50 pages. Those are not necessarily. So what you just need to do, there are things that you need to have on your pitch deck that are necessary, that are like the key things that need to be there. The number one thing that needs to be on your pitch deck, which I would recommend to any founder, is the team. You see founders when they are trying to raise funding, they're just talking about the products. No, it's not about the products. When it comes to like the pre-seed or the seed stage, is more about the team, because the investors are investing in the team and not the products in the early stages. So it's actually the team in the first stages. So then as you begin to grow broader, then it's not kind of like tends to be more about the products. But founders do not know these things. They don't understand these dynamics. They don't understand how these things work. So what we tend to do is that we're helping them, introducing them to our network of angel investors.
So basically they are always like, you are trying to tell me that, so the investors are always trying to take their bet on the people themselves, not on the product or
Absolutely. When it comes to the pre-seed or the seed stages, that is usually the case. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what we have been doing so far.
Okay, so like it's only about you guys, or like it's the general thought of the investors?
No, this is general.
This is general.
Yeah, this is general. This is absolutely general.
Because there are like I would say it's a myth or not, because sometimes it's always about that your product should be good, or your services should be good, or you guys should be the great. So we have heard these kind of things, but you are telling me that like they're in some corner of their mind, they are always betting on the people who are building this.
Absolutely. Because the thing is, even if a product is good, but if those who are building it are not really good themselves, the product will die. So the main thing usually is the team. If the team is good, they will always have a good product, because they will reiterate, they would work on their mistakes, they would do customer survey, come back again and retry again, because the team is good. Do you get my point? So usually the team determines whether the product is good or not. It's the reason why there are some people that once they're in a particular team, once the best people are in a team, the product is guaranteed that it's going to be good. Do you get? So, but once you can have a good idea, you can have a good product, but if the team is not really good enough, the product will die. I don't know if you get my point clearly.
No,
and also, this is basically for the pre-seed funding stage and the seed funding stage, not the Series A or the Series C. The Series A, Series C can be about the product, basically, can be more majorly about the product. But when it comes to that early stage of fundraising, that first time raising funding, is about the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have already gave us in our video that the number one tip, that there is no need to create a 20 or 30 pages.
That's
the one thing, like I would say that anyone who has like gonna watch this video or this podcast, so at least the lesson number one, there is no need to create a bunch of pages 20 or 30
because
pages.
investors do not really have that much time.
Exactly.
Many people are sending them different pitch decks, different things. Everybody's pitching. So what you need to do is your pitch deck needs to be precise. The theme, the traction, the bid, what you're going to do, use the money that you're asking for. What have you done before? How much have you invested in that your projects initially? So all those things matter. So basically, my session is tomorrow, so I'll be explaining all these things.
We will be gonna cover
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. I'll be explaining all these things. Yeah. So
I think you have told great things about like how the market reacts, how the emotional cycle works, how do you have to do your own research. Even you have just added the step number one, that there is no need to create a long pitch deck.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, I think that was it. If you want to give us any last note for our audience or the people who haven't entered in this space, mostly the people are going to enter after this ETF came.
Okay.
But just want to say.
Yeah, for those who are already in the space, what I would advise anyone is, this is the time to position. This is the time to take position, because you don't need to, if you may not have money to invest. Yeah, but you can also position with knowledge and the time and the efforts that you can also position with knowledge. You can make your research and position in a particular field. Be an expert in one field. You can position yourself in development. You can position yourself in research. You can position yourself in marketing, in different other aspects basically. So for those who are already involved in this space, this is the time to position yourself and become an expert in the field, because there's no longer time for mediocrity anymore. Once everybody start coming in, only those who know what they're doing will stand. You get me? So this is the time to actually position for those who are not in the crypto space. Therefore, those who are kind of like still skeptical about the crypto markets, they're scared or stuff like that, basically, what I would suggest for them to do is to take 20 hours of research. Proof of work, proof of stake, smart contracts, and that's all. After 20 hours of research, you would understand that this is the next frontier of finance. This is the next frontier of finance, because your banks already are already thinking of moving into crypto. We are seeing PayPal that I think have about 490 million users basically are trying to get into crypto. I think their stablecoin is going to deploy in a week or so.
Stuff
Exactly. So for those who are not yet involved in this space, what they need to do first of all is to gather knowledge. Join communities that know what they are doing, gather enough knowledge, and from there you will know what to do. And also, on a final note, I would like to say this for traders, for investors, for analysts. Wall Street is coming for your Bitcoin. Don't sell it cheap.
With this and crazy,
Thank you.
With this crazy end note, I think we should wrap up this session.
Yeah.
And we have a lovely session with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure and it's our team pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So do like this video, share this video with your friends, subscribe our channel. Why? Because whenever you guys support us, the algorithm of YouTube boosts, and we can invite these kind of amazing persons to our channel, so then they can provide you the information. So you guys are gonna like this video for yourself.
Yeah.
So thank you so much once again, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Powered by Desi Crypto.